Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I have a couple things to cover, so grab you a drink, grab you a project, whatever. Excuse my horrible lighting situation. I haven't been long got off work, that's why my hair is so poofy, because I had to take it down out of my clip, and it just, as soon as I do that, it just poofs out. Not to mention, I was just grabbing a very staticky blanket. So, the other day, I told y'all I was going to start working with the anniversary cakes, right? And I did. And there's some pros and cons about it. The biggest con is I played Yarn Chicken and I lost. But it was one of these big anniversary cakes. And I called it Prism the other day, but it's not. It's Prismatic. Yeah, I goofed. But as you can see, I definitely lost at Yarn Chicken. Now, I do have that purple, which I'm just going to finish this corner up and, be done with it. Because this Prismatic does have the purple in it. Now, I need lotion. My hands they feel very rough. But with, 20 some odd degrees anymore, you wouldn't know that I'm in the South. Not with this weather that this winter's coming at me. Now, I'm trying to find, alright, that was my first corner. Okay. So, I'm going to hold it up so you can get an idea. And you think my hair is poofy now. Wait till I actually start handling this for a second. Because this thing, it has done nothing but create and multiply static. But I don't know if you can see. It's roughly, probably about 36, maybe a little more. Let me see. Grab my quilting ruler here. Alright, that's that. No, it's 36. It is 47 inches. So this thing is almost 40. It's almost 4 feet wide. And I'm willing to bet, hold on. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see. It comes up to my neck. So I'm a whole whopping 5, 6 and a half. So it might be maybe 60 inches, like 5 feet. But, it's a decent sized blanket. Now, those pros and cons I was telling y'all about. It's staticky so bad, I got to get it off my lap. Sorry about that. Now, and it's, yeah, my hair was gravitating toward this the entire time I was working on it. Now, as makers, we always have hair in our work. And I definitely get hair in my work as much as I shed hair. You look at me and I'm shedding 5 pieces of hair in no time flat. But I've never had a project that will take my hair and do it like this. While I'm crocheting on my lap, my hair is literally going straight toward the blanket. So, I'm going to use this purple to finish that off because it'll go well. Just one corner will be a concentrated. See, this is my purple. And it is called Hocus Crocus. For whatever reason. So that one little corner will have a concentrated thing of purple, but that's okay. Now, don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of that. I might make a smaller blanket. I know I won't be able to get one that big for 2 reasons. I'm using part of that to fix the yarn chicken issue. And now I used a 8mm hook, because that's what the ball band called for, right? I think. Yes. Called for 8mm hook, which is a L11. Now, I also have, now these are 3 that I bought for my grandson in a little pack at Walmart, because he wanted crochet hooks like Grandma. So I bought these for him, and he will crochet with me sometimes whenever he's in that mood. Basically, I'll do a couple chains for him, and he'll just keep wrapping it around the hook and say he's crocheting with me. So anyway, now I have an 11.5. I wish I had found this before I used this on the prismatic, because for one, it would have went faster. Maybe. The problem with that prismatic, or with this anniversary cake yarn, and I haven't heard anybody else complain about it, so it might just be me and my staticky self here in the wintertime. But I also used Bounce dryer sheet periodically to kind of counteract the static. And it helped for a few minutes, and then, you know, too much of the repetitive motion coming through my hands and on the hook and everything, it got staticky again. But I'm thinking that it would have went faster. Thinking. With the 11.5. And I might try this one with the purple. The 11.5mm. And it is a P16. Because it might make it go faster, but it will definitely use up more yarn. And it might not be as fast as I normally crochet, because the static is fighting me. When I'm telling you, it's clinging to my hand. It's clinging to my forearm. It's clinging to me. It's like I'm battling the yarn just to be able to crochet with it. So now, the pros. I love the color saturation in this yarn. The prismatic looked a lot better in the ball than it did in real life. And I would grab it again, but my hair is trying to calm down. So if you'll look back on that part of the video, you can see where I showed you, you know, it in its glory. I'm not crazy about the mustard yellow. You know, that was kind of hidden when it was in the ball form. And I don't like how they have the brick red and pink, but no real red. And to me, real red is Georgia red. It is cherry red. It is Christmas red. You know, do I need to go any further? I'm sorry for the lighting situation. Like I said, I have to repeat myself. It's late. There's not enough light coming from outside. But my boss was short in hours this week, and she wasn't here, so there wasn't the ability for me to go in and work from 6 to 2. So I had to work from 8 to 4, which put me late getting here. But it did let me, I almost, had I had enough prismatic to finish that blanket, I would have finished it this morning before I went to work. But as it was, I didn't. And I got started on another project for a quilt. Now, I told y'all that I had gotten those Christmas panels, those fabric panels for Christmas, to make a Christmas quilt. I wanted that to be my first quilt. So, over the week, or the weekend and the beginning of this week, I was looking at different quilt patterns, right? And let's just say that's a rabbit hole that I could go down and get lost in and be okay with it. There was so many quilt patterns and designs, and it was gorgeous. So I'm going to keep that one under wraps until I get a little bit more cut and showing you. Maya, what are you doing, baby? Maya? Maya, what are you looking at? She's literally at the base of the tripod, looking over here where there's nothing to see. Okay, if she bumps it, I'm sorry. She's literally laying between my feet and the tripod. You okay, Maya? I guess she just wanted to come hang out with Grandma. Who knows? So, I don't know when I will show what I decided to do with the purple. I may go ahead and do it so that it's a completed project and it's off my shelf, because the thing, I don't know if I mentioned this in this last video, the thing I noticed when redoing my setup here is I have way too much yarn. I have way too much yarn. I knew I was accumulating yarn, but I didn't know at the speed in which I was accumulating it, because I had shelving to put it in, you know, and I had empty pieces. I had empty spots in my shelving. So I didn't think anything about it. Well, when I had to start moving all this shelving around and realized I didn't have space for all this shelving, and I started taking things off the shelf, but I didn't have anywhere to put them. I looked at my son, I looked at my husband, I'm like, I have too much yarn. So, I have to show y'all some more yarn, yes, but not today. And I am still thinking, I did get a suggestion about doing a giveaway with that Flower Power yarn, and I'm thinking really hard on that, because if I'm not going to use it, I don't want it just to sit here. So I do have, like I said, I had a total of 9 skeins of it. So I have 8 that I haven't touched yet. Of course, I wouldn't be giving away all of them, because there is at least 2 more colors that I would like to do. The Wisteria, the purple, I'm not a huge fan of that color. That was just the first one my store had, so that's the first one I bought. But we'll see, because there's some blues in there that I like the Bluebell, which was my mom's favorite flower after the rose, because she loved Texas, and Bluebell is the state flower for Texas. So, oh, that's tied up with my mom. But anyway, now I'm still thinking on that, and I would have to figure out how I would do it, because if I'm correct, YouTube, it's a red flag if they see the word giveaway. So it might have to kind of be on the down low of some kind without saying that that's what we're doing, if I do decide to do that. My daughter-in-law had a suggestion about doing it on my website, you know, like a free gift with your order or something like that. While that's fine, I appreciate her idea, but like I told her, y'all are not my target audience for my knit and crochet goods, because y'all knit and crochet. So why would you buy my stuff? But you know, it's a thing of it wouldn't be any good if I'm not getting traffic to my site anyway. So I wouldn't be giving away any yarn because people aren't on my site. So, like I told her, I appreciate that idea. I just don't see how I could make it work. If y'all have any ideas on that, leave it in the comments, because you know I'm always open to ideas. But I am, one of y'all suggested that I do a giveaway, and I'm still thinking really hard about that. I will just have to figure out the logistics of that, because I don't know how that would work. But if any of y'all have tried the Flower Power and like it and would want some more Flower Power, let me know in the comments. If you haven't tried it but really, really want to without having to risk the expense of buying it, let me know too. Just let me know one way or the other. Now, I was gonna, let's see, what was I think that was it for the yard content, maybe. Y'all, I got work brain today. I'm sorry. It's not a pleasant thing. And I told my boss that would happen. I said, when I wake up early in the morning, I want to get up and start my day. I mean, I want to immediately begin doing things, whether it's here and do my crafts, get right straight into making, or get ready and go, get in the car and go to work. That's just the way my brain works best. So by getting up before my alarm went off this morning, because I set it for 6, but I was up at 5, so that didn't quite work. But when I do that, my brain just is, okay, let's do it. Let's get to work. So I already knew that it was a work day. So by going straight into the makes, which is crocheting that prismatic blanket, my brain didn't know what to think. Because here I am, fully dressed and ready to walk out the door for work, but yet I'm crocheting in my recliner. And it's like, this don't feel right. So I got to do it again tomorrow, and I'm not looking forward to that because I was discombobulated all day. And y'all know it's not hard to make me discombobulated. But I didn't see a lot of squirrels today, mentally. I was probably too tired. Because like I tried to explain to a coworker, when you get up as early as I do, 4 o'clock is like 8, 9 o'clock. You're running out of steam. The heck with the 2 o'clock midday drag down. Mine is, like 4 o'clock. I'm ready. I'm done. My day is finished. So I only have one more day of that, thankfully. And then next week we should go back to status quo as far as me being able to go in at 6. But I am still maintaining my good work-life balance by only doing 2 days a week. And I'm proud of myself for that. Because, if anything, the last few days that I've had off, yes, the prismatic blanket took way more time than I wanted it to. But it also gave me time. I did have to do some maintenance stuff on my website. I had to pay taxes on the one sale I had. Thank you, Kathy. So I had to pay tax. I had to do my tax return for that. And so I did get some things done that were indirectly related to my crafting, but I did find those quilt ideas too. And I have a list, probably about 5 or 6 different ideas of quilting things that I want to do. And apparently me doing that Christmas quilt, I must have had a squirrel moment with that one, because the minute I started looking for patterns to do around the panel, I lost track of focusing on that and got drawn into all these beautiful different kind of table runners. Oh, let me tell you, I told y'all about me wanting to do a table runner for here and for my daughter-in-law. I seen about 4 or 5 different ideas for those, and I told you at the beginning of this video, it's a rabbit hole that I will gladly go down, because it is just, it's endless. But I don't want it to take away from my knitting and crochet. Now, I do have a knitting project for work. And I say for work, really it's for any time, like if I'm in the car or I have to wait a while, or, you know, like when I took my husband to his doctor's appointment Thursday, I was sick. So I stayed in the car and I was just knitting away on my little hand towel. But I haven't decided if I want to cast on another pair of socks for home stuff, or those Pioneer gloves by McClure. What's her first name? Debbie, Patty. She's on Rivalry. I've mentioned her in previous videos, but for those fingerless gloves, I want to do those only because I've done socks. I mean, I have knitted socks for the last 6 or 7 years. So I have an abundance of those. But I would never stop making them because I love to do socks. But I'm also kind of wanting to do that fingerless glove pattern that I'll probably never wear. Or I might surprise myself and make it. But I think I would want to use a darker pattern. I mean, a darker patterned yarn, because she used like a green, like a foresty green with black tones, and then just very few light speckles, you know, every now and again in the yarn, and it looked great. And the reason I say that is because I could possibly wear them at work. Like today, workers and customers alike was wearing jackets. I was wearing my jacket, and that's unheard of at work, you know, except when I was trying to get sick. But one of my coworkers at the cutting counter, she was wearing fingerless gloves too because her hands were cold. And I was like, yeah, that might have been a good idea. But you know, I've told y'all, with this neuropathy, it's milder in my fingers, but for my hands to get cold, it's cold. And my hands were so cold when I left this morning, they were hurting. And I thought about grabbing my gloves that the lady got me last year when I was doing seasonal driving for UPS. But they were in my car. And I drove my husband's truck this morning. Because for some reason, at 355,000 miles, my car decided that the belt was squealing. It's been squealing for about a week or so, and it'll squeal for a minute and it'll stop. Well, the day before yesterday, it was squealing from the time I went down. I drove down to my son and my daughter-in-law's, and then drove back because I dropped my phone. I had it in my jacket, in this little bitty fleece jacket, and I said, I just got finished telling my daughter-in-law, not even 2 hours prior to that I needed to, you know, I don't trust that jacket since I got the phone. Now, I've had this phone almost 2 years, but I don't wear that jacket very much anymore because, you know, it's just too hot. So I dropped it down there, and it was out in their yard. So, but the whole time, no, they're a half a mile away from me, and the whole way down there and back, it was squealing. And my husband said, "Is the belt been squealing?" I said, "Well, not earlier today, but when I just left to go down there and grab my phone and back, yeah, it never quit." So he said, "Well, you know, in the morning, just in case, if your car starts squealing, take my truck." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to want to be playing around with that in the morning, so I'll just take your truck." Which is a very sweet thing. He doesn't want me to break a belt and be stuck on the side of the road in 20-some-odd degree weather, and I appreciate that. He's a good egg. Of course, 30 some odd years, I wouldn't be with him if he wasn't, right? But anyway, so what would you do? Would you do something that's tried and true and that you're going to wear all the time? Because I don't wear store-bought socks anymore. I haven't for the past few years. Or would you break it out and do fingerless gloves? Now, if I do fingerless gloves, I might have to use the purple yarn, the purple base yarn that I got from Three Crows Fiber in Augusta, because that's about the darkest yarn I have in fingering weight. Well, I don't know. Now, I have some sock yarn that's a darker. I have to go look in my sock yarn drawer to find out. But I'd love to get. You don't even have to be chatty with me in the comments. Just tell me. Tried and true, I know I'm going to wear socks, or branch out into possibly wearing it only once or twice, fingerless knits. Let me know. Fingerless gloves. I'd appreciate any input. Now, I can't tell y'all about that yet. I was about to tell you about the quilting idea that I had. Because I'm looking at it over here on my table, and I'm excited. I only have 3 strips cut from this morning, and I have a lot more to cut. But, well, I only have 3 more of that color. Then I'm going to sew them together and then cut strips out of that. And if you know quilting, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I do think that's it. Now, I am waiting on some drawstrings to come in for these bags, so I can get them wrapped up. And I'm hoping that I can get that done tomorrow. Now, I do want to share something with y'all. Y'all know I do Temu, alright? I do Fishland on Temu. And I won like 4 or 5 different little free items. Well, this was one of them. It is a 5.5 by 16 acrylic ruler. And it just so happens that for my bags, this is my template. I made a foam template for the bottom panel of my bags. It's the exact size. So when I saw this on Temu as a possible free prize, I was like, oh, I have got to have that thing. Well, it came in broke. Imagine that. But it was mailed in a poly mailer. Who would mail a breakable acrylic ruler in a poly mailer? And it did not come from overseas. This thing came from New York. So somebody wasn't paying attention. And I tried to super glue it, but the super glue it wouldn't ever harden. I super glued it yesterday, and then even this morning it was still pliable, and I was getting so frustrated. So I had a spare piece of that foam that I just taped to the back of it, so that it'll still lay flat on the table, and I can cut because the drawback to my foam templates, is when I'm using my rotary cutter, sometimes I will hit the foam. And, yeah, that doesn't work that well. So, I mean, it works fine for the short little thing I need it for, but this will work better. And now it's stable since I put that piece of foam on it, So, your girl had some ingenious thoughts on that one. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. My husband has been sweet enough to cook dinner for me since I was working late. And I think he's about finished in there. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it up. I'm sorry, it's a relatively small, quick video, but I wanted to go ahead and get it filmed because I have to upload it in the morning. So I need to get it uploaded on Google Drive so my son can do his little editing stuff and get it back and upload it for me. But I'll let y'all know what I decide to do on that Hocus Crocus, the purple anniversary cake. There's not a whole lot of yarns that I feel like, you know, I just want to use it and make something to get it out of my stash because I'm not crazy about it. Because it is a lot fuzzier than I thought. I mean, I was wearing fuzz this morning having to go to work. And will I buy one of these again? No. Did I like having them and experimenting with them? Yeah. Because, you know, I like to try new things. And these things were so huge. And, you know, like I said, a 48 by roughly 60 blanket out of that. And that's going to be donated. So somebody's going to stay super warm. I do like how squishy it is, though. It is so super, that blanket, even though it is staticky, it is so super squishy. And it might not be that staticky with somebody else. So it'll probably get donated to that senior program, the local senior program that I donate to. And, you know, they'll probably appreciate it. So I might make a little bit smaller version of the purple and do that. Or I might just make it a kid-size blanket, a kid-size throw, and because it's a church that I donate to, and it's an area churches. It's called ACTS, Area Churches Together Serving. So they might have a program for, you know, kids in need or something. I don't know. I'm sure they do, because they help people with like the power bills and whatnot, and groceries when they have vouchers and stuff. So I think I'll do that, and I'll show y'all when I get that done. It probably won't be, because I do want to get some bags made and and a quilt made. And either socks or fingerless gloves. And I told y'all there's not enough time today for all the different things that I want to do. And you know what I mean, because I'm sure y'all think the same thing. It's just not enough time. And I wish my hands worked faster. But then I would breeze through it and then not have anything to do, right? Wrong. I'd always have something to do. But with that, I'm going to let y'all go. I hope you have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching it. Just try to do something that brings you joy and, you know, have fun doing it. I'll see y'all later. Bye.